Hey there. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Karen Yankovich, and I decided I wanted to come back in here. It's been a while since I've done a live video series for you. So I've got some things going on that I want to share with you, and I've got some ideas on. I'm getting a lot of questions from you on all the things. So I thought I'd jump back into this daily live thing that I've done before. My intention is to do that at 8:30 a.m. Obviously, it's noon right now, and we'll see if I can get this at 8:30 a.m. That's my hope. So I should be able to do that the rest of this week. We'll see whether I do that over the weekend or not. I'm not committing to every single day, but I'm going to be doing this as close to daily as I can for a couple reasons. I'm calling this March Madness. I'll get into that in a minute as to what my background is with March Madness. But uh, we're coming to the end of Q1, and I feel like there's things to look at, right? It's time to look at your year long plan. I'm not to beat yourself up if you're not where you want to be, but do you need to make some adjustments? Do you need to, with grace and giving yourself grace, adjust your plan for the year? And kind of look back at Q1 and see what was working, what didn't work the way I wanted it to work. Are the things I thought that were going to happen, if I did A, B would happen? Is that happening, right? So I figured this would be kind of going on the March Madness theme would be fun. And I'm going to be here every day. So I would love for you, if you have not, we're live today on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and in my Facebook group. If you're not currently in the Facebook group, you should certainly join us there. LinkedInForWomenCommunity.com gets you to the Facebook group. And so why March Madness? So I am a basketball fan. My dad was a college basketball coach. I grew up with basketball. I grew up going to basketball games a billion times. When I was in college, I was the manager of the men's basketball team, and went to all the basketball games, kept the books, did all the things, right? So I'm a huge college basketball fan. And a couple of years ago, one of my good friends, we happened to be in Atlantic City for a weekend for another friend's birthday, and we were kind of spending the weekend in Atlantic City, and it was in the middle of March Madness, and she had picked UConn because her daughter went to UConn, and it was the year, I think it was like 2016 maybe, that UConn won it all. And I was the only other person there that was a college basketball fan, so I watched the games with her in the different bars in Atlantic City. And we had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Well, it turns out, because UConn won were the underdogs and won in the Final Four, she won her pool in her company, and the prize was tickets to the following year's Final Four. So I was the only other college basketball fan she knew. So I went with her, and we went to Indianapolis that first year. Went to Indianapolis and watched the Final Four. A lot of fun. So much fun. Indianapolis was a fun city. And it was actually, of all the places I've seen the Final Four, I would say Indianapolis was the most fun place, because everything's contained to one downtown area, which is not the same in some of the other places. But anyway, we had so much fun there. It started us off on a binge. We went to a couple years in a row. We went to watch the Final Four. She's had some health challenges, and for a lot of reasons we haven't gone anymore. But I'm a big March Madness fan. This year, last year New Jersey was representing, right? Last year we had St. Peter's that did so well. This year we've got Princeton, who's still in it. Fairleigh Dickinson lost last week, but anyway, that's the reason why I thought it would be fun to use March Madness as the kind of as we wrap up March, as we move into April, and as we wrap up Q4 and move into Q1 and move into Q2. I wanted to talk a little bit about some stuff that we have, that might be happening in your business. So for those of you that are watching that are in one of my programs, that one of the things we did at the end of 2022 was we recreated a marketing plan. And it was a year-long marketing plan for 2023. And obviously there's some revenue goals associated with the marketing plan. If you do this, we think this will happen. And a lot of the work that I do with people centers around how do you build relationships with journalists and podcast hosts and things like that. So how do you get that visibility that leads more people, gets you in front of more people, that gets those more people into your world to be available to invest in your high ticket offers? So we've been working on adjusting them. Where are you with it? Do we need to adjust it? I needed to adjust mine. My Q1 was very different than I thought it was going to be. I had an unexpected, not really unexpected. Well, yeah, it was unexpected, an unexpected move. I decided to sell my house at the last minute and moved to moved back to North Jersey to help a friend, and turned out to be a really good choice. And a lot of other things have been crazy. So I've had to make some adjustments to my 2023 plan, and so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that as well. So the format of this March Madness LinkedIn strategy series that I'm doing here is it's going to be based on a Q&A type format, right? It's not going to be me sitting here, coming up with topics. So I want your questions. So I would love for you to either email Karen at sheslinkedup.com if you have a question for me that you'd like me to address on this series. Or if you want, you can go to SpeakPipe, which you can get to from any of my podcast episodes. Or I think if you go to KarenYankovich.com/SpeakPipe, let's see if that works. KarenYankovich.com/SpeakPipe. Oops, spell it right. We'll take it to, I will make that work. I will make KarenYankovich.com/SpeakPipe work so that you can leave us a voice message with your question. I can play your voice message here on this series if you like. But I want to start off with a couple of questions that I get a lot. And today's question is, how do I get more eyes on my content? And that's a question that I get a lot, right? LinkedIn's algorithm, how do I work LinkedIn's algorithm, all of that good stuff. And here's my answer to the question. My answer to the question, first of all, is in my world, in the strategy that I teach, that's the wrong question. I'm not saying we don't want to get more eyes on our content. We do want to get more eyes on our content. Of course, we want to get more eyes on our content. But more importantly is how do I get more names on my calendar, right? The reason that we use LinkedIn is to build relationships with the kinds of people that can change your business, your life, and your bank account, right? So yes, more eyes on your content should hopefully lead to more names on your calendar. But there's a little bit of a cross your fingers strategy, right? Which is not my way of creating strategy. I want your strategy to be, if I do these things, I know this happens, right? So for me, I'm not saying, I'm not saying I don't want you to have more eyes on your content. And there are ways to get more eyes on your content. You want to make sure that you're engaging. You want to make sure that you're conversational. You want to make sure that you're tagging people where you can tag people. The minute somebody hits publish on a study on LinkedIn's algorithm, LinkedIn changes it, right? So anybody that's telling you definitively, this is what happens if you post right this second, this is what's going to happen, they're making it up, right? There have been people that have studied, I can't think of the guy's name, but there's people that have done studies on the LinkedIn algorithm, and it's based on facts. Here's how I evaluated 100 posts, and here's what I found out. So that's not made up. That's the truth. But again, the minute you publish that study, LinkedIn can change the algorithm. So yes, we want to use things like that to help us understand what to post, how often to post, the types of content to post. But we also need to recognize that what the posting on LinkedIn does is it keeps you top of mind with the people that you're doing the outreach to, because the strategy on LinkedIn to get the highest ticket, to get clients, is not spam your networks that you have a lot of people saying, hey, buy my stuff, book a call, blah, blah, blah. It's not that. It's to reach out to people genuinely and say, here's what I do. Who do you know? Right? And get on those calls consistently. That is how you build the most value into your business. So I know it's a little flippant when you say, how do I get more eyes on my content? And I say, yeah, wrong question. The reality is there's no one right way to get more eyes on your content. You got to see what works for you. You got to test things. You got to try things. You got to see what works and what's not working. And then you need to remember that the whole reason we're here is not to be a faceless person behind a computer screen, but is to actually build relationships with people, actual human to human relationships. And that's where the value on LinkedIn is. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Again, if you have any questions about this, drop them in here now or drop them in below and I'll come back to them later. Either way, I'm happy to answer your questions. And know that if you want to know more about how this all works, how to get more names on your calendar, I've got a free masterclass. Just go to KarenYankovich.com/masterclass. And I talk a lot about in that masterclass. There's nothing for sale in that masterclass. I talk a lot about how do you get more names on your calendar, what the process is that I teach to get more names on your calendar. So check that out. And in the meantime, send me your questions. I'm going to be here every day for the next few weeks to support you. And I'd love to know what you want to know from me. All right. So I look forward to hearing from you. And I'll be back here tomorrow.